Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
Alaikum salam. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Now we are broadcasting, and for
Okay.
the audience, can you hear our voices
Yeah.
properly?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Brother, can you please introduce yourself for us?
Okay. I am Rafiqul Hasan, and somebody know me as Raif Iftikhar. That's basically my writer name. I'm a writer
Mashallah.
myself, and yeah, I write poetry and other things, columns especially. And other than that, I'm engaged in an NGO. I'm a founder and vice president of Runner Bangladesh Development Society, which also work with Genç İDSB. And along with that, I'm a student by myself. I finished my graduation right now, and I'm waiting for my master's degree.
For what subject will you study?
I'm studying international relation and political science in Istanbul, Sabahattin Zaim University.
Mashallah. Okay, you will like our topics, I am sure.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
can you give us information about Bangladesh and its history for us? Because the main population here are Turkish, and I think, and I guess, they have never been able to visit Bangladesh. So, can you give us some information about Bangladesh, please?
Of course. So there are a lot to say actually. I don't know where to start, but I can say that Bangladesh is a country way too far from here. It's like 7,000 kilometers from Turkey, all around near to the Bay of Bengal. It's a sea, it's three sides surrounded by India and Myanmar in one side. So basically, the whole country is a small country, like only 150,000 kilometers, and but a big number of people. It's like 180 million people in that country.
Mashallah.
Yeah, it's
Double
two
than
times
Turkey.
bigger. Yeah, double than Turkey, and that's a big number. That's a really big number, and it's the most densely populated country in the world. They say. So we have a lot of people, I can say. So that's why we have 180 million stories about us. 180 million people and 180 million stories. Like
Mashallah.
I can start with how to say the historically Bangladesh actually was a part of Indian subcontinent. It was in Mughal time, in Mughal Empire. We all know about Mughal Empire. In Mughal Empire time, it was a part of Mughal Empire. Later on, British came. It was a colonial. It was colonially ruled by British for 200 years. After then, it became. There was Pakistan and India. It was a part of Pakistan from 1947 to 1971. And after 1971, it became separated from Pakistan. So Pakistan was our it was the first country. Then from Pakistan it became separated, and it became Bangladesh from 1971. So it's almost 50 years of liberation, and it's a new country compared to Turkey, and it's a very new country. And that's it. If I can say about the history, and it's a basically Muslim populated country. We have 90% of Muslim in our land, and I think around Bangladesh there is no Muslim country. Like Pakistan is 1,000 kilometers far from us, the nearest country. That's the only Muslim land which is surrounded by all the non-Muslim people. Yeah,
And
in the world.
how does it affect your politics in the region?
Okay, it affects very different. Like if I say about politics, in Bangladeshi politics, it's if I explain it, we are surrounded by India. So India has a very big influence on our political life, politics, and our culture. And also, we actually separate from Pakistan. So that's a different story. So because of that, there are lots of different political parties which are also representing Muslim culture, Islamic culture, and there are secularist ideas, especially like different secular parties also working there. but the country politically is mostly secular country. It's a democratic, liberal democratic country, and it's a republic in political terms, I can say.
You are from Bangladesh and you are studying in Turkey. So if I ask, how would you compare Turkey and Bangladesh? What do you feel in Turkey?
I say it's a brotherly country, very brotherly country. I have been in different part of the world in my lifetime, but I feel like Turkey is a country which I feel home. Generally, yeah, I feel home, and like I am very accustomed with the culture, people, and I'm very used to with the things which I am experiencing here. For example, I can go to pray in Turkey, and I can it's normal, like how the way we pray in Bangladesh, the way we live our time and do our things in Bangladesh is similar in Turkey. There is not much differences, but Turkey is more infrastructurally developed, or Turkey is mostly, if I say, it has different cultural background. It has different kind of Islam. Like Sufism is very populated, popular in Turkey. But in Bangladesh, it's not so popular. It's like, but we are in Islamic terms, we are in the same madhab or same kind of culture. But I would say it is quite similar, and very brotherly. And people of Bangladesh love Turkey very much. They love Turkey very much, and people like to. Whenever I go to Bangladesh, people say, "You are in Turkey. Please tell us about Turkey and how's life there, what is going on there, and how do you live there." That's it.
MashaAllah, we are brothers and sisters in religion, as our
Exactly.
Prophet told us.
Exactly.
So now we are in Ramadan, and I would like to ask you some questions about your Ramadan. So you are now in Turkey, and how do you feel when you are celebrating Ramadan in Turkey, and what are the differences between Bangladesh and Turkey when it comes to Ramadan? Are there any specific traditions in Bangladesh that is not in Turkey, or etc.?
If I differentiate, there are different kind of differences, but there are similarities too. Okay, if I put it like that, if we say about food, if we say about the culture of praying, if we say about how we celebrate Ramadan, there are similarities. Like, for example, how we celebrate Ramadan in our country. People used to go meet each other, like in this year, actually, this is very different. In this year, actually, very different. But in Ramadan, in our country, we used to go to each other home, check out about our neighbors, our people, our families. Similarly in Turkey, I know, as I know that people take care of each other, and we used to pray Tarawih. In Turkey, I see that Tarawih is less smaller, and it's if I put it we pray when we pray in the mosque, we pray for like small surahs.
Excuse me, your screen is changed, so I cannot see you properly.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now.
Can you?
Yes.
Can you? Oh, okay.
Now perfect. And when I say perfect.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, you're fine now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in Turkey, in Bangladesh, generally we pray a long prayer of Tarawih. We used to pray Tahajjud prayer at night, and after Sahur, generally used to go to sleep. And Turkish Ramadan is quite long. In this sense, Turkish Ramadan is like 18, 19 hours. In Bangladeshi Ramadan is like 13, 14 hours. So it's comparatively smaller. But the weather in here is quite cold, and there is really humid and hot weather. So mostly we feel similar experiences. I feel like I used to have my Ramadan in Turkey is like much easier than in Bangladesh, even though it's less time. But in Turkey, even though it's peak time, but it's much easier for me. Other than that, like the culture is similar. Like we used to have our iftar together, in family. We used to in Bangladesh, the family value is very important. So staying with the family, living together with the family, and how you spend your time, that's very important. I think it's the similar in Turkey. We used to have our time in Ramadan with our full family, and our mother or sisters make very special foods. There, yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, I love curry, the traditional
Wow.
food of this area. Really lovely.
Yeah, actually, everybody like carry that. Everybody like to eat that. As I know that they say it's very spicy, but people like it. People really like it. Like okay, however, what I was saying that we used to eat different kind of foods. Like it's very spicy food in things in our menus. In Turkey, I see that people like very normal or light dishes. But in Bangladesh, people used to eat a lot in Ramadan. So the spirit is different. People like to eat much better foods, much better lives there, and like more spicy things. And there are markets for very spicy foods. There are big markets where like people sell different kind of things, different kind of foods, and mostly they are all heavy foods. I can say actually explain like the different kind of kebabs also there, and
MashaAllah.
kebabs, and we have the food traditions came from actually Indian or Mughal culture, so that's a very much interesting in our region. Other than that, in Bangladesh and Turkish, Ramadan tradition is quite similar, very similar, I can say.
So, you said you have been to different countries. Before coming to Turkey, what were you expecting? And then when you came here, what did you find?
I found okay. I knew when I come here. It was in like 2015. I came in 2015 for the first time in Turkey. In that time, I actually basically came for study. So I knew Turkey is a Muslim country. It's a very big country. It has like different culture. Like I read about Ottoman Empire in that time. So I used to read about like different stories. Like we all know Topkapi Palace and historical places. We all know about these things. I mean, I think everybody in Bangladesh know a little
And
about
nowadays,
Turkey.
everybody knows Ertuğrul Gazi
Exactly.
because of the Ertuğrul resurrection.
There is a TV the Ertuğrul Ghazi is dubbed in Bangladesh TV channels, and everybody watched it, and they called me, did you see that? Did you watch that? So it's really nice actually. When I came in Turkey, I just basically came for a study. So my time was my concentration was how's the universities, how's the life there, and that's it. The simple things I used to think in the time. So I basically I basically cared about university life and these things. When I came here, I became shocked that it's a very different land than my country. It's different in the sense that the ideologically there are different kind of people, and like politically it's the country is different. Even the infrastructure is different. Even though it's a Muslim country, like if you see the big mosques in Istanbul, you will of course love it. But in Bangladesh, we used to have different kind of structure, different kind of mosque, and our social life is different, and everybody speaks Turkish. That was the first thing when I feel when I used to talk with somebody, I feel like I can't talk. And by the way, there is somebody who write that আমি তোমাকে অনেক ভালোবাসি, আমি তোমার দেশে যেতে চাই. Somebody actually typed that in Bengali, maybe from Google Translate.
Yeah, absolutely from
Okay.
Google Translate it seems.
Yeah. So when I came here, it was very different experience. Like I didn't knew anybody. I went to first time when I came here. I went to Zonguldak. There is a city Zonguldak. So I got admission in that university. So when I
I've
went
never
there,
been to Zonguldak, by the way.
yeah, see. So when I went there, the first memory I remember, I wanted to drink water, and I don't know what is the Turkish in water. So I knew a guy who going to help me from the university. He didn't understand also any little bit of English. Tell him water for 1,000 times. He don't understand. I become very thirsty. Then I went to a shop and show him that this what I want. And he actually thought that that's a what he bought actually that's a soda. So when I drink that water, so it's a soda. So it feels different. It's not like normal water. So I said, in Turkey the water is like that. No, I can't live here. Then I later on I came to Istanbul, and in Istanbul I feel like it's a very multicultural city. It's very different than the other Turkey. Like if you go to Ankara, if you go to other places, Istanbul is really really different. And as it was the capital of Ottoman Empire and a kind of capital of Turkey. Ankara is a capital, but it's not the real one. It's in the name only. So when I see, I feel like there is a lovely culture. There is a how people accommodate myself, even though I don't know the country, even though I don't know the people, I don't know anybody, but how they feel me as nearer because I am just Muslim. I am just someone from a friendly country. Just face is similar. Even I'm a brown guy. Looks are quite white. I feel that that's a that the differences is there was no differences, and the way they treat me as family, as friend, I really love that from the beginning actually.
As a foreign student, when you come to Turkey and Istanbul, are you having troubles? And if you were coming here again, would you like to come again or not? Did you find what you expected here? And after learning Turkish, is there any problem here, or just living here is a very good thing? I would ask that too.
I have been in different places, different countries, as I said. I can tell you, wherever I go, I miss Istanbul. That's for real. I remember, like, let me give you my experiences. I have been in like Europe for several days, and whatever I see, wherever I go, I feel like Istanbul is better than that,
MashaAllah.
and and Istanbul is better than that. Like think about that. When I feel bad, when I feel like I'm inside feeling something bad, my mind is not okay, I just go to Bosphorus, near to Bosphorus. I took the vessel, and I just go from Uskudar to Eminonu, and my mind is fresh, completely okay and fine. And for living for me, Istanbul is the best place in the world. It's best place for living. You will feel entertained. You'll not feel any pressure. You'll not feel like living is very easy here compared to other countries. Living is very easy in Turkey, and I feel like I would like to stay whole my life in this country. It become my land. It become my family, and I have a family. I have a land, and it's a country same as my motherland. Actually, I feel.
Inshallah, you will live here forever, brother.
Inshallah, inshallah. I
And
feel.
for keep going, please.
I feel when I stay in Istanbul, I feel like when before I came here before I came to Turkey, I used to read books, a lot of books. So about Istanbul, about what's there in Istanbul, and I'm a poet. So I used to write poetries, so giving some rhetorical words about Istanbul, And and when I came here, I feel like it's the same.
Wallah. Did you publish any poet book, or would you think to publish a book? Maybe we can give your news to our audiences here.
Yeah, I have a book, but unfortunately it's in Bengali. But I wish to translate it. I wrote that in 2015. Later on, I have plans. Like I wrote another book. That's the translation book in Bengali. But I have the two books. Basically, I did. Other than that, both are in Bengali actually. But I wish I would write more books and translate them in English or in
Inshallah,
Turkish.
brother. Maybe the brother is writing below can translate your book from Bangladesh.
Yeah, he's trying really hard. He's trying really hard. MashaAllah.
So from audience's questions, I will ask. So a friend of us asked that what are the relations between Bangladesh and India now? Because it's very different area and it's far away from Turkey, so we don't know the actual news happening there. Can you give us some information about India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh relationships?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, because the situation is very complex here. Our relationship with India is like it's surrounded our country from three sides. So in three sides we have India, and the other side we have the actual sea. So it is quite, you can say that, completely surrounded by India. And our government has very good relation with Indian people, and our people also have a very good relation with Indian people. But the government, like Indian government, people don't connect with them. Indian government is actually quite, they have some views, wrong views about Muslims, and because of that, the thing happened is that people in Bangladesh actually don't like them, the government, but for the people in India, they really love them. And there is a historical thing, like there is the issue, as we know, that Bangladesh became independent from Pakistan. So I would like to explore also that because in 1971 there was can you listen? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
hearing you.
it was loading. Okay, in 1971, Bangladesh was a part of Pakistan. So it was a land which divided like the two land in a country, but the East Pakistan and West Pakistan. The real Pakistan we know now, that was the West Pakistan, and the Bangladesh was East Pakistan. It was called as East Pakistan. So, but in between these two lands, there was a 1,000 kilometer distance. So you can say that was a very big distance. Are you there?
Yeah,
I
I'm
think.
here, brother. I can hear you.
Okay, fine. I mean, your screen is loading. That's why. Sorry. So okay. In this time, people actually wanted liberation because there was some different influences, different kind of politics. I don't want to go deep into that, but I can say in that time people choose to make a new country, and Bangladesh wanted to become liberated. So it became liberated. There was a war. There was a war for like for 9 months, and then Bangladesh became liberated. Pakistan gave the liberation to Bangladesh. After then, it become very influential. Like the influence of India became rises in Bangladesh because it's surrounded the country. And until now, there's the issue. But the Bangladeshi people have a very good view about the Pakistani people, Indian people, and everybody. And like the issues we generally listen, or issues we generally hear about what is going on in these countries, basically deal between governments. And governments or politicians used to make things very complex, so they don't see things very simply. But I feel like our culture is the same. the foods we eat, the foods I eat here in Bangladesh, the similar food we eat in the, think about curries, biryani.
That is the loveliest
That's
point here.
that's the loveliest point. See the just positive side, and the Bangladeshi people, Indian people, and Pakistani people all love biryani, and now Turkish brothers are loving it. So what makes it that? So that connects us. There is no differences. There is not big differences among the countries. The problems made by the politicians, political ideologies. So that's a different story. That's a very big thing, and you can't just say things easily about that. But I would like to say, I would like to see the positive side, and as I see, people love each other. People love each other. Lots of Indians coming to Bangladesh, lots of Pakistanis coming to Bangladesh. We are also going in their countries. So that's a very good culture, and that's a very good relationship, because inherently our culture is same. It's just the same, and we try to explore it much better way. So I feel like it is always been the problem of the political problem actually made by politicians, but mostly it's always the people are always good. People are always good to each other, and it's a very hospitable country. Bangladeshis love to have a guest. Bangladeshis love to. If you go to Bangladesh, you'll feel that. If you say that I'm Turkish, I will come from Bangladesh, people will take you their home without knowing you. They don't know you. They don't do anything. It's very normal. Like in Ramadan, we used to have a guest from outside to have iftar with us. That's a culture. The people take a person to their home, but they don't know even who is the guy. So
I
that's a
haven't
very nice.
I haven't been to Pakistan or Bangladesh, but in the UK there was a Pakistani Bangladeshi mosque. So I went there, and when somebody saw me, he asked, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I am from Turkey." And he directly asked me to visit Manchester with his car. And then we
See?
went there with his car, and we take time there. So I love these people. Definitely, they are very hospitable people.
Exactly. I mean, if you just look over the other side, look over, leave all the politics, leave all the things, leave all the issues. If you just see the normal thing, like what is going on in reality, that the people love each other. People are
Alhamdulillah.
very good there. People are very good there, and people like to And I would like to invite you actually now. Right now, I would like to invite you
Inshallah.
to Bangladesh.
Inshallah. I
Inshallah.
hope I will visit there one
Inshallah.
day.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Brother, would you like to add something, or we can close now our broadcasting?
Okay.
Would you like to add something to our
No,
audience?
I would like to say some small things about Bangladesh and Turkish relation, and Bangladesh and Turkish people, because somebody asked here in the questions. I can what is the how Bangladeshi people think about Turkish people.
Hmm.
I would like to say that. Nowadays, everybody knows. You said we already spoke that a lot of people actually speak about Ertugrul, you speaks about other things, and everybody knows Erdogan, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, everybody, and thousands of Bangladeshi people. If you go to Bangladeshi people's timeline, Facebook timeline, you see their profile picture is replaced with Erdogan's picture. people people like to see him. People like to find him very interesting cases, and people love Turkey. People really love Turkey in Bangladesh, and if you go to any kind of Bangladeshi areas, if you ask anybody from Bangladesh, how do you think about Turkey, they will think really great, and they'll say about really good things about the country. So that's the thing. I feel like there's the connection as a Muslim brother, as culturally we are very near to each other, and I feel, as I said, I feel like home in this country,
Alhamdulillah.
and this is my home. I can say this is my second home, and I always say that I just miss my family. Other than that, but except that, everything is I have my friends, I have my family, I have my neighbors. All are very nice to me, and that's the loveliest thing I love about Turkey.
Alhamdulillah. it's the blessings of Islam. Alhamdulillah, we are brothers and sisters in Islam.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So thank you very much, dear brother. It
You're
was
welcome.
a blessing to have you here. Nice to meet you.
You too. My pleasure.
And
İnşallah.
Selamun Aleyküm.
Aleyküm selam. Allah'a emanet olun.